I feel better already. I needed that. I needed that.
I feel better already. Into the fray once more.
It never rains but it pours, eh?
My!
Oh there. A word of warning, Wanderer, afore you continue on your merry way. See these corpses here? Be a good fellow and take them as a hint that this town isn't the pastoral little paradise it once was. Immaculates, orcs and humans both, have taken Hunter's Edge. Its villagers are now slaves in the mines to the west, or they've been bled dry of their last drop of life, reduced to mere fuel that must light the wicked candle that is bloodstone. Long as you live in the limbo between coming and going, though, why not have a look at what I have to sell? You'd be surprised to see what a scouring skeleton can gather together in a dying town. Yeah! Well, don't go round angering Immaculates if you want to keep your vitals intact. Though perhaps it won't be very long before they have a stab at one another's vitals instead. I have the feeling there's trouble brewing between the orcs and the humans in there, and who can blame 'em really? Just ain't natural for 'em to consort, I say. Only good orc... Well, you know how the phrase goes. Can't say I remember who I was before the change came over me, but these days I'm a travelling trader of sorts. There's an immaculate necromancer in the village ahead. She's the one who brought me back from, well, wherever I was. She's an especially bright one, you know. Most necromancers can only revive a dead corpse into an animated one, but she manages to yank back some semblance of consciousness too. I don't remember much, but the thrill of trade certainly calls to me. Maybe I was a merchant in my former life, who knows? These days, most undead are busy haunting Sicil or picking the way in the Lucula mines. But I keep a low profile and stay out of sight. Haven't been bothered by an immaculate yet, and I hope to keep it that way. I know the weapons of which you speak. I've even hidden away a piece of one myself. I had planned to pass it down to my son, but oh, maybe you could make better use of it now. My, you're still alive. Way to beat the odds, Wanderer. An intact finger. Just what that deviant of an orc was looking for. There's still meat on those bones. Must have been the miller's
I'm
boy.
overheating
Muscles
here.
strong as marble he had.
Sodden all the way to my boot soles.
I need to dry off. I need to dry off.
I'm drenched.
Bloody floods. We can't pass through here.
An intact finger. Just what that deviant of an orc was looking for.
I feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake. I'm overheating here. I'm warm as...
You there, Flatlander. Stay at your business. Come to play now the town's been taken, have you? Typical you Flatlanders. Lucky for you, the goddess don't discriminate against cowards. Well, come quickly then. There's still townsfolk on the loose, and the chase has probably made them wild as cornered dogs. One might pop out of a bush and take an eye before you can shout your own name. Better you first check in with the higher-ups. You've got Jarl, the righteous leader of Weir the Mountain, and blood-stained Gratilda, queen dog of the giant toads. Trust me, you'll know her when you see her. Now scram, and make your introductions before word gets to them there's an intruder here.
Did someone leave an oven door open?
Ugh, I'm dripping.
Oh, I'm dripping.
It's so ugly when it turns.
I ain't afraid of a single rock-skinned one of you.
Then why not stand up and face me, boy? One on one.
They're keeping the peace for now. Chief's orders. That or the...
Blasted mosquitoes. Never a moment's peace with these filthy vermin buzzing in me. Oh, ho, ho. Brother, I've crossed me pests. 'Tweren't a tiny winged bloodsucker whining at me, but a tiny footed one. Brother, I think the human's asking me a question. Think I ought to tell the tiny pest who I am? Ought I tell her I lost us all in a scuffle with another ickle human? Maybe it was this one's brother. Huh? That pesky bugger might have got me off, but I've got something too. His wee head.
Comrade, did you hear that? It sounds like these Immaculates are at odds with the local orc savages. We may be able to turn this to our advantage. I'll keep a sharp eye out for anything we could use to nudge these factions closer to chaos. If we can get them to destroy each other, we'll kill two birds without even having to pick up a stone. Nothing would please me more than seeing Hunter's Edge cleared of the scum that destroyed it. I may not be able to undo the past, but together we can dole out justice for those who've suffered.
The tusk's yours. What do you want, Blacklander? If you're in...
You, Mammoth. Gratilda the cook.
I'm drenched.
Look here! Look at you! How I admire one whose head is lodged so firmly upon their shoulders, like a spire that rests upon the breadth of its foundations. One
and indivisible. Not I, alas. I fare not so. For I may replace my battered cranium as jauntily as a wizard may his hat. Just consider some of these examples here before me. How I admire this one's kingly brow, that one's exquisite jaw, yonder one's deep-set sockets that held a warrior's eyes. Why make a permanent choice? Why not cater to the occasion as called for? I would, but for the question, where does the soul reside? And so I ask, where are you, O ephemeral soul? If in a tooth you may be pulled, if in an arm you may be broken, where are you, O delicate monstrosity? As have we all. Townsfolk would sit on these benches and talk about their day. Children would sprinkle water at one another and snigger. Now their mouths neither talk nor snigger any longer. And all that is sprinkled about is blood. Days pass me by no longer, only the dreams of what was, but can never be again. Surely you jest when you question this question's importance. Say I opt for that there fair-featured sovereign of a skull. What happens if another soul lies therein sequestered? If I play the part of the aforementioned wizard, and swap its rugged lineaments for the feeble ones that are my own, who shall I become? I. Yes. Who is I, then? Were I sure that the soul houses within the chest, within one's little toe for all I care, I would fret not so. But the certainty I long for remains as impossible to find as one specific raindrop in the rain. You, oh, I beg of you, have you not the answer?
You needn't worry. Unlike our heads and our bodies, it is we and our souls that are one and indivisible.
I concur. Pick a new skull if you want one. It's not going to change who you are in the least.
But of course, why was I so blind? The soul is not of the body, it is of the spirit. A new skull I shall have, but same person I'll remain. Oh, the agony of choice. I think I'll opt for the one with the kingly brow.
You can speak. You don't look like a tribesman or orc, but I suppose I can't be certain. Then again, I've never heard of a dark soul gifted with the speech of the wild. Jinxica is my name, and until recently I lived a placid sort of life among the people of Hunter's Edge. The baker might leave me a bit of milk left over from this breakfast. The barkeep stroked my back between filling glasses. I had many friends here, but none so dear as a little trio. A married pair and their daughter, employed by the wizard to keep his home. They spent many long hours squashing fleas that plagued me and shared their warm beds with me each night. If you come to this village to help and not to harm, you might be able to save those 3 kind souls from the orcs that have invaded. Ah, such misery in our sad town. A kind but private man he is. He set up his home here several years ago, but never remained there long enough before jetting off to tend to some matter or other. The dark invaders seem very interested in him indeed. They've been skulking around outside the house since they arrived, but not even one of their filthy vermin can penetrate the wizard's protective enchantments. Would that an invasion were all! They destroyed every crumb of life they could find and sent their filthy rats to seek out those who evaded them. Each life they took infused their strange stones with power. Their queen glowed with delight as a parade of victims were slain before her. It was as though she was taking in a beautiful song. The human tribe came shortly after. They had their own supply of the glowing stones, and the orc queen took no easy liking to them. Still, it seems they are working towards some similar goal. They haven't destroyed one another. Yet. They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out. But I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, those 3 sweet souls may be found at any time. Savages by savages employed. The orcs have one among them, the rat catcher they call him, who claims to have trained rats to do his bidding. They've swarmed the place in search of hidden villagers, and unless every last one of them is split from tail to snout, they're sure to find my friends. But you're not like the brutes inside those walls. No, you approached me with hand, not boot, outstretched. Perhaps you could help me. With these rats running about, it's only a matter of time before my friends are caught. They must be squashed, every last one of them. I've done my best so far, but there are simply too many for one set of claws to handle. With your help, though, with your help, it could be done. The rats gone, my friends safe. The dog looks up at you with misery-ridden eyes. Its tail doesn't wag, and when it tries to bark or speak, only silence reaches your ears. The dog hangs its head, then looks north. Filled with fury, it barks noiselessly in the direction of the forest. Many rats scurry in and out of this hole. Where it leads, many rats scurry in and out of this hole.
Say, what's a Zandalore anyhow?
Seven have mercy on your soul.
The other rats are weak. There's got to be a more subtle way to exterminate these pests.
Poison ought to do this. These rats seem important to the Immaculates.
If we're going to exterminate them, we've got to find a better way to do it.
I need to dry off.
I'd never have judged a few grimy ground by the wings of Frey. Feel anything strange underfoot? The orcs insist there's a cellar here, but we haven't found so much as a hole for squatting. Someone got the brilliant inkling that the missing villagers are hiding in a secret cellar. This was their home, but there's no sign of anything more than orcish garbage here. The wizard servants they were. And the great queen goon of the orcs thinks they'll know how to get inside the wizard's house. Even if they don't, I suppose she hopes to cut them down, same as the rest of their kin. And rubbish. I ain't a bleeding maid.
I thought the same about that villager's kneecap. Is this one of them fancy scribble pages?
You already checked beneath these boards. There's nothing to find in this bleeding dump.
Damon, good.
The orcs tore through this place like wild pigs.
I'm drenched!
The thing won't budge. Clean up, clean out. What am I? Goddamn scullery maid.
There are countless rats inside this hole, waiting to be lured out at the slightest temptation.
Clean up, clean out. What am I? A goddamn scullery maid.
That's you. He's dead. You dare not only to poison the golden goodness, but to feed it to my brave soldiers. Friend to filthy felines, are you? May the next cheese you find snap your neck in twain. Any rodent with half a mind would recognize me by the diadem encircling my kingly head. I am the king of rats, of course, the ruler and leader of all rodent kind. Touched by madness he is. Imagine an orc believing he could train the gods' most intelligent creature. I assure you, it is we who have trained him. We perform the tiniest of tasks, and he rewards us with delicious golden cheese. I, responsible for the welfare of each of my subjects, secure the wealth and glory of our kingdom by contracting certain occupations through which we obtain security, honor, and above all, cheese. A certain orc, the one who so erroneously calls himself Ratcatcher, has won our employment. He tells us what to find, and in exchange for a generous wheel of Gorgonber or Gouda, we oblige. I've nearly closed in on this particular target, a trio of stinking humans who I believe to be cowering in their cellar. But I've lost too many men to this bloodthirsty feline. I won't send more troops into the unknown until the beast is caught. That must be the monster who's been slaughtering my men by the dozens. Kind knight, I, his rodent highness, do make a request. Remove that beast from this town. Spare my men the claw and tooth. I'd consider you a true friend if you'd oblige me in this matter. And the loyalty of my friends never goes unrewarded. Find me in the tavern cellar if you desire a second consultation. The smell of whiskey in there does so delight a king's senses.
You there! The armory's off limits, you hear? Take another step and you'll be looking for your teeth at the end of a rainbow. 'Cause it's a goddamn crime scene, isn't it? Our bloody bloodstones were stolen, the old body lot of them. Everybody's pointing their grubby little fingers at Garrett 'cause he was on guard duty at the time. Yeah, it may be a tad suspicious that now he's missing, but I'll eat pig ball soup if he had anything to do with it. I mean, just look at this shattered door. There's Orchid Bot written all over it. But I'm done talking about this mess. Ask Jarl if you're so bloody interested. So it's told you.
What's this? I found something.
Now bugger off.
This is taking bloody ages. I need a drink and a breather.
I've spotted something.
Soaked to the skin.
Lucky find!
into the fray once more.
I feel better already.
Sweet relief. As good as a new penny.
As good as a new penny.
Bless the seven. I am restored.
Cheers. Though I wish there were other bottles. What?
I've spotted something interesting. I've spotted something.
I've spotted something.
What's this? I found something. What's this? I found something.
There's no